My wife's male secretary embezzled my 2 million yuan year-end bonus. And my wife knew full well but let him get away with it. I quit on the spot. The next day, my wife called. I'll give you 3 million as compensation. Come back. I sneered, dropped one line, and broke her completely. The second the giant screen at the annual gala lit up, I realized the 2 million yuan year-end bonus I busted my ass for 11 months to earn had turned into the new watch on Zhou Jingxing's wrist. I sat at the very back table, watching my wife Su Kinga hand the annual special contribution award to her male secretary with her own hands. The thunderous applause from the crowd made my ears ring. Zhou Jingxing stood under the spotlight, holding the trophy with a polished smile. Thank you for your trust, President Su, and thank you to the team for your support. The successful delivery of the Sky Dome system is the result of our collective effort. I looked down, glanced at the original bonus approval form on my phone. Special Contribution Award. Gu Qinzhou. Amount 2 million yuan. Approver Su Kinga. Submission date 17 days prior. But tonight, the name on the big screen was Zhou Jingxing. The cash amount was gone, replaced by a fancy line. Custom Corporate Honorary Reward. My colleague Chen Fong next to me leaned over and whispered, Brother Gu, isn't that award supposed to be yours? I said nothing and hit record on my phone. On stage, Su Kinga wore a black gown, her smile bright. The way she looked at Zhou Jingxing was too soft for a secretary. Jingxing has worked so hard this year. Most of the time, he understands my pressure better than anyone. The crowd immediately started hooting. Secretary Zhou isn't just a secretary, right? The only one who gets President Su. The catcalls and laughter merged into a roar. I picked up my glass and took a sip of ice-cold water. Zhou Jingxing walked off stage with his trophy and deliberately detoured to my table. He leaned down purposely, flashing the watch on his wrist. What do you think? Director Gu, President Su has good taste, doesn't she? It was a Patek Philippe. Market price nearly 2 million yuan. I stared at his watch and said nothing. He grinned even more smugly. Don't get me wrong. This is a personal gift from President Su. She says I stayed up late with her more than anyone else this year. That I earned it. Chen Fong's face dropped instantly. I asked Zhou Jingxing, did you alter the bonus distribution form? He played dumb. What bonus distribution form? I turned my phone screen toward him. His smile froze for a split second. Then he lowered his voice quickly. Don't be so stubborn. Director Gu, you and President Su are married. The whole company is yours anyway. Why care about this little bit of money? I stared at him and shot back. So you embezzling my 2 million is doing me a favor. His face darkened. Don't put it that harshly. President Su knows about this. She agreed to it. The second those words left his mouth, my fingers froze. I looked up at the stage. Su Kinga was toasting a client. She couldn't hear what Zhou Jingxing just said, but I would find out soon enough if she knew the truth before the gala ended. Su Kinga finally walked over to me. There was a hint of exhaustion on her face, and a whole lot of impatience. Qinzhou, don't make a scene tonight, I asked. I haven't said a word yet. How do you know I'm going to make a scene? She glanced around, lowering her voice even more. I'll compensate you for the bonus later. The last tiny shred of hope I had in my chest shattered instantly. You knew. She pressed her lips together. I knew. I laughed. You knew he took my 2 million. You knew he took my contribution award. And you knew he stood up on that stage in front of everyone and said he pulled all those all-nighters with you to get the Sky Dome system done. Su frowned. Qinzhou, don't put it that harshly. Jingxing has really helped me a lot this year. Besides, you're my husband. The company will be yours, too, someday. Why fight him over this silly little bit of face? I stared at her. So, my bonus is his face now. Her eyes flickered. He's my most important executive assistant right now. He handles almost all our external client relations. All the clients are here tonight. I can't embarrass him. I nodded. So, you thought embarrassing me was fine. She huffed. You're the technical director. Why the hell are you picking a fight with a secretary? You've already got your title. He just needs a way to save face. I set down my cup. Voice soft. Su Kinga, that's 2 million, she said. I told you, I'll pay you back later. Later? Yeah. When? She went silent. Zhao Jingxing walked over, playing peacemaker. Director Gu, President Su's been under a ton of pressure lately. Don't push her. You two are married. Money's nothing to hash out behind closed doors. I stared at him. Shut the hell up. His face dropped. Su Kinga immediately stepped in front of him. Gu Chenzhou. The second she yelled, the entire banquet hall went dead silent. Every head turned our way. She realized she'd overreacted, but didn't move from her spot shielding him. She bit out through gritted teeth. Don't make a fool of yourself at the company annual gala. I stood up slowly. I'm the one making a fool of myself. Zhao Jingxing said in a low voice. Forget it, President Su. I don't want the award anymore. Don't let me ruin your marriage. He took off the medal as he spoke. Eyes glistening. What a performance. Su Kinga softened right on cue, turning to me with eyes full of blame. Chenzhou, look what you've pushed him into. I didn't say anything else. I pulled out my phone, saved the recording I just made, and uploaded it to the cloud. Then, in full view of everyone, I logged into the company's internal system and submitted my resignation. The reason was one single line. I cannot continue working in an environment where my work is stolen, my bonus is embezzled, and management turns a blind eye. Su Kinga's face drained of color instantly. Zhao Jingxing froze on the spot. I set my work badge on the table. President Su, my resignation's been submitted. Per the contract. It takes effect tomorrow. She panicked. Gu Chenzhou, are you insane? I looked right at her. I've never been more lucid. I turned to leave. The applause from earlier had died out long ago. Everyone watched me walk out of the banquet hall. But I knew the real show was just getting started. I'd barely reached the hotel entrance when Su Kinga came chasing after me. Her high heels clacked sharply against the marble floor. Frantic and messy. Gu Chenzhou, stop. I stopped. She stormed up to me, face twisted with anger. Withdraw your resignation. I said, no. She took a deep breath. I know you feel wrong tonight, but can you stop being so childish? The company just signed the acceptance agreement with Haichuan Group. If you resign now, do you want the whole project to go up in flames? I stared at her. Who built this project? She froze. I kept going. Who wrote the acceptance documents? Who tuned the core algorithm? Who drove out to the client's site 27 times? Who sat alone in the server room from 3:00 a.m. till dawn fixing the system when it crashed? Her eyes flickered. Then she quickly regained her usual CEO composure. I know all that. That's why I said I'll compensate you. I laughed bitterly. Su Kinga, I don't want your compensation. She frowned. Then what do you want? I want you to admit that Zhao Jingxing stole my bonus, took my award, and claimed my work as his own. Her face darkened. Do you have to put it that way? It's the truth. Her voice turned icy. Even the truth depends on timing. There are so many clients and board members here tonight. You made a scene in front of all of them. How's the company supposed to save face? I stared at her. What about my face? She went silent. In that second, it hit me. She knew I was wronged. She just thought my grievance wasn't worth anything. The company's reputation was worth something. Her male secretary's pride was worth something. The client's impression was worth something. I was the only one that didn't matter. Zhao Jingxing also came chasing out holding my work badge in his hand. Director Gu, don't be impulsive. Quitting isn't a small decision. President Su has your best interests at heart. He tried to shove the badge into my hand, voice dropping to a whisper. If you actually quit, who's going to take charge of the vault inspection? If the project goes south later, you won't get off scot-free either. I look up at him. Aren't you the winner of the annual special contribution award? You take charge. The smile freezes on his face. Su Kinga says impatiently, Gu Chenzhou, Jingxing doesn't have a tech background. You know damn well he can't handle this. I shoot back. Can't handle the job, but dared to take the award. She's left speechless. Zhao Jingxing's face darkens. A flicker of hatred crosses his eyes. He sighs suddenly. Ms. Su, let's just drop it. Director Gu probably thinks I've been stealing what's his this whole time. I'll resign. Su Kinga says immediately. No way. The last flicker of warmth in my heart dies out completely. She shields him almost on instinct before turning to look at me. Chinjo, I'm not taking his side. I'm just thinking in the company's best interest. I nod. Then I'm thinking in my own best interest. I turn around and head for the door. She yanks my wrist. What the hell do you want me to do? I stop and glance at her hand on my wrist. We've been married 3 years. She hasn't touched me of her own accord in ages. But right now, she's not holding on because she doesn't want me to leave. She's scared the project will collapse. I say, before 9:00 a.m. tomorrow, publicly correct the bonus ownership, recover Zhou Jingxing's illegal gains, and restore my project credit. Her face goes completely cold. You're forcing my hand. I say, you forced my hand first. Zhou Jingxing says in a low voice, Director Gu, your demands are way out of line. We can talk about recovering the bonus. But if we make a public correction, how is Ms. Su supposed to run the company later? Everyone will think she made a bad hire. I look at Su Kinga. You think that, too? She doesn't answer. Silence is answer enough. I yank my hand back. Then there's nothing left to talk about. I walk out of the hotel. The night wind is biting. I get into a taxi and open my laptop. The company system hasn't revoked my access yet. Figures Su Kinga doesn't believe I'll actually quit. She thinks I'm just throwing a tantrum. I log into the project backend. Export the last operation log. Then remove all my personal accounts from non-essential access permissions. Finally, I send an email to Liang Jingting, the project lead for Haichuan Group. The content is straightforward. I have resigned from Su's cloud tech effective tomorrow. I am no longer the person in charge of the vault system inspection. Please confirm the new project delivery lead and technical signatory per the terms of your contract. Email sent successfully. 10 minutes later, Liang Jingting replies with 2 words, received. 5 minutes after that, he sends a second email. Mr. Gu, are you free for a meeting tomorrow morning? I reply, sure. When the cab pulls up to my apartment building, I see the lights are on. My mother-in-law, Han Shulan, is here. The second I walk in the door, she's sitting on the couch sneering. You actually know to come home. Kinga already called me about this. You're a grown man quitting over a stupid bonus. How pathetic is that? I changed my shoes. That's my 2 million. Han Shulan frowns. You and Kinga are married. Her money is your money, right? The company's having a temporary cash flow issue. They needed to put on a good face for others. What are you making such a fuss over? I look at her. It's not a cash flow issue. Zhou Jingshang's already wearing it on his wrist. Han Shulan snorts dismissively. That kid Zhou accompanies Kinga to business events, takes shots for her, pulls strings for her. What's wrong with him getting a little reward? You hole up in the tech department all day. Who even knows you? A man can't just know how to write code. He needs to know how the world works. I laugh. So, my bonus is supposed to go to rewarding her male secretary. Her face darkens. Gu Chengzhou, cut the sarcasm. Kinga, already married down enough by wedding you. She's the company CEO now. What about you? You only have your job because she gave it to you, right? I don't bother explaining further. I walk into the study and open the safe. Inside were our marriage certificate, the company's founding agreement, my technical equity contribution confirmation, and the copyright registration for the first version of the Skyfall system source code. Han Shulan followed me in the second she spotted the papers in my hand. She snapped, "What do you think you're doing with those? They're for the divorce and my resignation." She froze, then screeched, "You dare divorce me? Gu Chengzhou, don't know what's good for you." I slid the papers into my bag. Dignity. I tossed that out the window tonight. Keys jangled at the door. Su Kinga was home. The second she saw the document bag in my hand, she went paper white. "Gu Chengzhou, you're actually doing this." I stared at her. Every word out of my mouth from now on is 100% real. 8:30 the next morning. I sat in the cafe on the ground floor of Haichuan Group. Liang Jingting showed up right on time. He was the group's head of digital transformation. In his 40s, a total no-nonsense guy. The second he sat down, he dropped a printed copy of my resignation email on the table. "Gu, if you quit, We have to reopen the liability assessment for the Skyfall system acceptance check. That's your prerogative. He looked at me. Sue's Cloud Tech called me last night. Said you were just having a family fight and you'd back to work today. I smiled faintly. She got it wrong. Liang didn't press. He just slid a contract addendum across the table. It's written clear as day in the original contract. The final stability confirmation for the acceptance check has to be signed by the original lead architect. That's you, not Sue's Cloud Tech. I nodded. I'd fought to add that clause back then, not to use it as leverage today, but to stop non-technical suits from butchering the project. Never thought it'd actually come in handy. Liang went on. If Sue's replaces the lead, they have to run a full testing cycle from scratch. Minimum 45 days. Delayed damages get calculated per the contract. I abide by the contract. He grinned suddenly. Gu, you interested in coming to work for Haichuan? I shook my head. Not right now. What I'm doing right now isn't jumping to another company to grind my life away. I'm taking back everything I'm owed. One piece at a time. 9:00 on the dot. My resignation automatically went into effect. The company work chat went dead silent first, then blew up. Chun Fong texted me. Gu, Sue just got to the office. She looks furious. Zhao Jingxing's in the conference room talking crap, saying you're irresponsible and you'll take the fall if the project goes south. Director Liang called the office demanding we reconfirm the acceptance check lead. I didn't reply. 9:20. Su Kinga called. I picked up. Her voice was tight with rage. Gu Qingza, what the hell is that email you sent Haichuan about notifying them of my resignation? You know damn well the Skyfall system pre-acceptance check is tomorrow. That's why I warned you yesterday. Her breath hitched. Come back right now and I'll pretend last night never happened. I laughed. I can't do that. Her tone softened a little. Qingza, stop being childish. I'll make up your bonus for you. I said nothing. 2 million not enough. I'll give you 3. Come back now and the acceptance check goes ahead as planned. I'll make Zhou Jingxing void that form of his. I stared down, stirring my coffee. 3 million sounded like a lot. But even now she still thought I was leaving over money. What about the public retraction? The line went silent. Qingza, there's no need to make this public. What about the project credits? Her voice dropped. We'll add you to the internal credits later. What about Zhou Jingxing? I'll give him a talking to. I chuckled. She sounded panicked at my laugh. Gu Qingza, I've already met you halfway. I'll transfer the 3 million to you right now. Just come back. I stood up staring at the traffic outside the window and spoke every word slow and clear. Su Kinga, 3 million can't buy me back and it can't buy you the sign-off authority you need for tomorrow's acceptance check. Dead silence on the other end of the line. A few seconds later her voice shook. What do you mean? I said. Clause 17 of the Haichuan contract. Final acceptance must be signed by the original lead architect. When you covered for Zhou Jingxing last night, you just so happened to kick out the only person qualified to sign that. She completely panicked. Why didn't you tell me this earlier? I laughed. I did. You didn't listen. The sound of a shattering glass came through the line, followed immediately by Zhou Jingxing's voice. Ms. Su, what's wrong? Su Kinga didn't answer him. She only spoke to me. Gu Chenzhou, come back. Let's meet and talk this out. I said. No, are you really going to drive me to my death? I'm not driving you anywhere. You're the one who bet the whole company on saving your male secretary's face. I hung up and minutes later, Chun Fong sent a photo. In the conference room, Su Kinga stood in front of the projector, deathly pale. Zhou Jingxing stood beside her. Coffee spilled all over the floor from his cup. The whole company knew the Qing Xiong project was screwed. I was just about to leave the cafe when Chunwan showed up. She wore a gray suit, a folder in her hand. Mr. Gu, I'm the newly hired external audit consultant for Sue's Cloud Tech. I glanced at her. Su Kinga sent you. She shook her head. No, the board of directors did. She sat down and slid a letter of authorization across the table to me. The board suspects irregularities in year-end bonus distributions and project attribution. They've ordered a special audit. Would you cooperate, Mr. Gu? I stared at the authorization letter. 3 directors' signatures were on it. Looks like Su Kinga doesn't have total control after all. I said. Sure. Chun Wan nodded. We'll start with the original bonus spreadsheet. I opened my laptop, pushed the original approval forms, finance system screenshots, photos of Zhou Jingxing wearing the wristwatch, and the annual party recording all to her. Chun Wan's frown deepened the more she looked. Finally, she looked up at me. You had all this ready this whole time. I said, I didn't prep all this to counterattack in advance. I closed my laptop. I just got robbed too many times. Learn to keep receipts. 2:00 p.m. That afternoon, Sue's Cloud Tech held an emergency executive meeting. I didn't attend. Chun Wan went as the external auditor, with both audio and video recording running the whole time. After the meeting, she sent me the key minutes. 1. Zhou Jingxing denied embezzling the bonus funds. 2. Su Qingge admitted adjusting the bonus distribution, but claimed it was part of the company's internal incentive optimization. 3. The CFO confirmed modification records existed on the original year-end bonus approval form, and the account used for modifications had Zhou Jingxing's secretary access permissions. 4. Zhou Jingxing argued he was acting on Su Qingge's verbal instructions. I read through it, replied with only one line. Keep tracing the source of the funds. 7:00 p.m. That night, Chun Fong asked me to meet at a tiny roadside restaurant. The second he sat down, he started cursing. Gu Ji. That little bastard Zhou Jingxing was playing the victim at the office all day. Said you've been pushing him around for a year just 'cause you're married to Miss Su, and that you quitting this time is a power play. I picked up a bite of food with my chopsticks. Anybody buy that? Chun Fong sneered. Of course they do. You keep such a low profile. Half the new hires actually think he's the one running the projects. I nodded. That's exactly why Zhou Jingxing could steal all the credit. He handled all external reports, while I pulled all-nighters fixing the system. The spotlight never hit me, so all the credit slowly became his. Chun Fong pulled out his phone. But I got something recorded. In the video, Zhou Jingxing was talking to a supervisor in the break room. Gu Qinj was only the technical director 'cause he's married to Miss Su. Without her, he's nothing, the supervisor asked. But didn't Mr. Gu build the Tianchong system? Zhou Jingxing laughed. He just wrote some code. Me and Miss Su are the ones who actually sold the project. The video cut off there. Chun Fong was fuming. Is this usable? I said, hell yeah. I sent the video to Wan. Less than half an hour later, Qin Wan sent over new intel. Got the payment record for Zhou Jingsheng's watch. Buyer wasn't Zhou Jingsheng. It was Hongrui Consulting, a partnered supplier of Sue's Cloud Tech day after the payment went through. Hongrui received a 2.3 million renminbi consulting service fee from Sue's Cloud Tech. I stared at the message, clicked immediately. Zhou Jingsheng wasn't just embezzling bonuses. He was running a kickback scheme through the supplier. This was a whole different level of crime. I typed back, does Su Qingge know about this? Qin Wan replied, no hard proof yet, but she signed off on the consulting fee. Perfect. That's the first nail in the coffin. Next morning, Sue's Cloud Tech's internal audit officially sealed all financial records. Zhou Jingsheng panicked, called me right away. I picked up. All the smugness he'd had at last night's annual gala was gone from his first line. Bro Gu, let's talk. I said, wrong address. I'm not your bro. He gave an awkward laugh. Mr. Gu, I messed up the bonus thing. Fair. But CEO Su signed off on it. 2. If you blow this up now, nobody wins. I asked, cut to the chase. What do you want? He lowered his voice. I can return the watch. Pay back all the cash. You drop what you've got. Come back to the company. Keep running the project. You and CEO Su are still married. Why let outsiders get the better end of this? I laughed. Last night you said I was nobody. Remember? His breath hitched. I said that in the heat of the moment. And you said I only got the tech director seat because I was married to Su Qingge. That was heat of the moment. 2. He went silent. I kept going. Zhou Jingsheng, you're not scared of me quitting. You're scared the audit will trace back to Hongrui. Dead silence on the other end. A few seconds later, his voice turned cold. Gu Qinzhou, don't push this too far. CEO Su will never let you ruin the company. I said, I'm not ruining the company. I paused, added, I'm only ruining thieves. He hung up immediately. That afternoon, an anonymous post popped up out of nowhere on Su's Cloud Tech's internal forum titled, Tech Director Gu Chengzhou Long Bullies New Hires, Uses Marital Ties to Hoard Company Resources. The post claimed I had a bad temper, was dictatorial, deliberately targeted Zhou Jingxing, and that I quit because Su Qinghua refused to transfer company shares to me. Comments blew up fast. No wonder Secretary Zhou always looks so wronged. Couple-run companies are the worst. If the project goes south, we're the ones who take the fall, right? Chen Fang was furious, sent me screenshots right away. I read through them, forwarded the post link to Qin Wan immediately. 10 minutes later, Qin Wan replied, Post IP traces back to Zhou Jingxing's office. I laughed. Dude was dumber than I thought. 8:00 p.m. That night, Su Qinghua finally showed up at my hotel. She stood by the door, eyes full of exhaustion. Chengzhou, can we talk properly? I didn't let her in. Talk right here. Her face went pale. This used to be our family business. Now she didn't even have the right to step into my room. She bit her lip. I know Jingxing messed up, but the company can't fall into chaos right now. Come back first. Get the acceptance check passed. I'll definitely make this right for you later. I stared at her. Your idea of making this right is him returning the watch and me shutting up. She didn't answer. I said, Su Qinghua. He already dragged my name through the mud. She said immediately, I'll make him delete the post. Deleting it makes it all go away. Her voice rose in panic. What do you want then? You want to throw him in jail that bad? The second those words left her mouth, calmed right down. So he's the one you're most worried about. She froze. Before I shut the door, I said to her, tomorrow's pre-acceptance check. Let your annual special contribution award winner sign off on it. The door clicked shut. She didn't knock again. The day of the pre-acceptance check, Su's Cloud Tech was total chaos. Chen Fang had been live updating me from the scene since 8:00 a.m. First photo, Zhou Jingxing in a navy suit, standing at the conference room door, grinning like he was the project's lead in charge. Second, Su Qinghua seated at the head of the table, face tight with tension. Third, Hai Chuan Group's team filing in. Liang Jingting brought 6 people. Legal, tech, procurement, finance. The whole crew showed up. 9:00 a.m. sharp. The meeting kicked off. Zhou Jingxing took the stage to report, and he delivered a flawless pitch. Market outlook, strategic layout, execution efficiency, partnership vision. Every slide of his PPT was immaculately designed. But when he got to system stability, Liang Jingting only asked one question. Who is the signatory for final architecture confirmation? Zhou Jingxing kept his smile unchanged. I confirm on behalf of Su Cloud Tech. Liang Jingting slammed his documents shut straight away. You're not authorized. The conference room went dead silent instantly. Zhou Jingxing's face stiffened. Mr. Liang, what do you mean by that? Liang Jingting projected the contract attachment onto the big screen. Clause 17. In black and white. Final acceptance requires a stability confirmation signed by Gu Qinzhou, original architecture lead of the Sky Vault system. Liang Jingting's voice was ice cold. Where is Mr. Gu Qinzhou? Please. No one answered. Su Qinghua spoke up. Director Gu has temporarily resigned for personal reasons, but the project team is fully intact. The acceptance process will not be affected. Liang Jingting looked at her. Ms. Su, you failed to notify us in writing of the core lead's change of status in advance per the contract. We reserve the right to suspend acceptance and launch a risk assessment. Zhou Jingxing panicked. Mr. Liang, you can't derail the whole partnership over one former employee. Liang Jingting didn't even glance at him. This is not just some former employee. This is the contract-mandated signatory. That line landed like a hard slap across Zhou Jingxing's face. Su Kinga's fingers clenched tight and she picked up her phone to call me. I didn't answer. Second call. No answer. Third call. Still no answer. She texted. Jinzhou, I know I was wrong. Come to the office first. We can talk about everything once the acceptance is done. I stared at my phone. No reply. 10 minutes later, Chen Fong sent a video. In the clip, Zhou Jingxing forced open the system demo environment trying to prove the project ran just fine without me. It went smoothly at first, but when Haichuan's tech team requested switching to the Haiken currency simulation scenario, the system crashed. A red warning popped up. Insufficient permissions for core scheduling module. Zhou Jingxing went pale, turned to the tech department. What's going on? Chen Fong stood up. After Mr. Gu resigned, his personally authorized test module shut down automatically. This module was only temporarily licensed to the project team by Mr. Gu privately in the first place. Su Kinga whipped her head toward him sharply. Why didn't anyone tell me this before? Chen Fong had held it in for ages and finally spoke up. Because Mr. Gu was here before. No one thought this would be a problem. The conference room was dead silent. Liang Jinting stood up. Ms. Su, today's pre-acceptance ends here. Haichuan will send your company an official risk notice. Zhou Jingxing scrambled to stop them. Mr. Liang, give us a little more time. We'll contact Gu Qinzhou right away. Liang Jingting said coldly. Weren't you guys saying last night that Gu Qinzhou just writes a few lines of code? Zhou Jingxing's face went as white as a sheet. That line was word for word what he'd said in the break room video Chen Fong recorded. Liang Jingting actually knew about it. I laughed watching the video. Chen Fong sent. I didn't tell Liang Jingting that. Zhou Jingxing shot his mouth off too much and got caught red-handed. 12:00 p.m. sharp. Haichuan's notice was officially delivered. Su Cloud Tech shareholder group chat blew up. The board demanded Su Kinga give an immediate explanation. The finance department demanded all of Zhou Jingxing's related reimbursements be frozen. The audit team demanded all transaction contracts with Hongrui Consulting be retrieved. Zhou Jingxing completely panicked and burst into Su Kinga's office. Security footage showed him losing his cool with her for the first time. Ms. Su, you can't let them audit Hongrui. You signed off on that consulting fee back then. Su Kinga's voice was icy. So you admit that watch was bought by Hongrui? Zhou Jingxing said nothing. She pressed on. You also admit you tampered with the bonus sheet. He snapped. You okayed this. You said Gu Qinzhou was your husband. You could make up the money later. You also said I'd worked my ass off accompanying you to events all year. I deserved a reward. The hallway outside the office was packed. Su Kinga's face dropped. Shut up. Too late. Chun Wan stood in the doorway, a voice recorder in her hand. Mr. Zhao, I will document every word you just said. Word for word. Zhou Jingxing went completely rigid. 3:00 p.m. That day, Su Kinga sent me a voice note. Her voice was raw, almost unrecognizable. Gu Qinzhou, you win. Come back. I'll issue a public apology. I'll give you back your bonus, your project credit, everything. I listened then deleted it immediately. Half an hour later, she texted again. We're still married. I stared at those 4 words for a long time, then sent her my first reply. Not for long. The next time I saw Su Kinga was at the law firm. She looked like hell when she walked in. The board had just launched an official investigation into Zhou Jingxing. The Haichuan project acceptance was suspended, and Su's Cloud Tech was already facing severe cash flow pressure. But the first thing she said when she saw me was, Jin Zhao, do you really have to burn every bridge? I slid the divorce papers across the table to her. Sign it. She stared at the pages, her eyes reddening slowly. You're actually divorcing me. I said, yes. Her fingers rested on the papers, but she didn't flip them open. Is this really just about 2 million? I laughed. You still think this is about 2 million? After everything? She bit her lip. Then, what is it about? Zhou Jingxing. It's not what you think between us. I looked at her. Su Kinga, the worst part isn't whether you just him or not. Her face went white instantly. It's that you knew he stole from me, and you stood in front of him and told me to shut up about it. Tears rolled down her face. I was just trying to keep the company stable back then. So, sacrificing me was the easiest option. She had no response. I flipped open the divorce papers. Marital assets will be split based on actual contributions and audit results. The down payment for the shop under your mother's name came from my premarital account. The car your brother drives was paid for with Project Petty Cash. The 3 expense reports you covered for Zhao Jingsheng are all included in the audit. Su Qingge jerked her head up. You investigated my mom and Yao Cheng. I said, am I not allowed to? Her voice was tight. They're just family. I nodded. So, were they just family when they spent my money? She went silent. When Han Shulan bought that shop last year, I asked you where the money came from. You said it was her life savings. When Shin Yaoqing bought the car, you said he took out his own loan. Now the bank statements are out and all the money is traced back to Su's cloud tech project accounts. Su Qing, his hands started shaking. I didn't know Yaoqing touched the project accounts. I looked at her. Did you really not know, or did you just not want to? Her lips moved, but no words came out. That was her biggest problem. She could always not know. When Zhao Jingxing stole my bonus, she didn't know the specifics. When Shin Yaoqing dipped into project funds, she didn't know the details. When Han Shulan used my money to buy the shop, she didn't know where the funds came from. But every single time, she was the one who signed off on it. She got all the benefits but never took any of the blame. The lawyer cleared his throat softly. Ms. Su, if you don't agree to the terms, we can proceed to litigation. Su Qing has suddenly looked up at me. If I sign this, will you come back to sign off on the project acceptance? I laughed. No. The light in her eyes died instantly. Then what's the point of me signing? A divorce. Her tears hit the paper with soft splats. Gu Chengze, you weren't like this before. I looked at her. What was I like before? Her voice cracked. You never used to be this cold. I nod. 'Cause I used to think you were worth warming up for. She goes completely silent. Outside the law firm, Han Shulan bursts in all of a sudden. The second she spots me, she jabs a finger at me and snarls. Gu Chengze, you ungrateful leech. Qing has supported you for years, and now that you're big enough to fly on your own, you're going to ruin her. I stay seated, not moving an inch. The lawyer warns her to keep quiet. She ignores him, slams her hands on the table over the divorce papers and yells, divorce is fine, but you're not getting a single cent. The apartment was bought by my daughter. The company was built by my daughter. Who the hell do you think you are? I pull up a bank statement. The 4.8 million down payment on this apartment was transferred from my premarital account. The 1.6 million renovation fee, I paid that, too. The 8 million seed funding for your daughter's company, also transferred from me. Han Shulan's face freezes. I lay out the second document. The 2 million down payment for your commercial store came from the household emergency account I gave Su Qingge. Her eyes start darting away. I look straight at her. Who's supporting who? Again, the entire law firm goes dead silent. Han Shulan still tries to talk her way out of it. You gave that money voluntarily. You're splitting hairs between husband and wife. What kind of man are you? I stand up. Being a man doesn't mean being a doormat. I set the pen down in front of Su Qingge. Sign or don't. Your call. In 3 days, I'm officially filing for divorce and property division. I turn and leave without another word. Behind me, Han Shulan's still yelling when Su Qingge suddenly snaps. Mom, that's enough. I pause mid-step. It's the first time she's ever stood up to her mom in front of me. Too bad it's way too late. Su Qingge doesn't sign in the end. She's still waiting for me to soften up. But the company can't wait. Hai Chuang Group officially issues a default warning letter. The board of Su's Cloud Tech holds an emergency meeting that same night. As the original project architecture lead, I'm invited to attend, virtually. Zhao Jingxing is there, too. His face is ashen, but there's still defiance in his eyes. Chairman Su Mingyuan, Su Qingge's father, shows up in person for the first time. His voice is gravelly. Zhao Jingxing, did you alter the year-end bonus distribution sheet? Zhao Jingxing keeps his head down. I did it, but a mess. Su knew about it. Su Qingge's face drops. Zhao Jingxing, don't twist the facts. Zhao Jingxing snaps his head up. Twist the facts. Ms. Su, you were the one who said Gu Qinzhou was your husband. You'd pay him back later, and told me to make the annual gala look good first. The conference room goes dead quiet. Su Mingyuan turns to Su Kinga. Is what he said true? Su Kinga closes her eyes for a second. I approved the adjustment, but I didn't know he was buying watches through suppliers. Zhou Jingxing laughs. Ms. Su, trying to throw me under the bus now. Isn't it a little late? He pulls out his phone. You sent me messages saying Gu Qinzhou was too stubborn. You needed someone to step up for you in public. You also said the Sky Dome project can't be held up by him alone forever. We need to gradually transfer permissions to me. The chat logs are projected onto the big screen. Su Kinga's face goes deathly pale. I sit in front of my screen looking at those lines, and I feel next to nothing. It's exactly what I suspected. This wasn't a last-minute call to let him run wild. She'd been planning to replace me all along. Zhou Jingxing was just too greedy and blew the whole thing up ahead of schedule. Su Mingyuan slams his fist on the table and roars. Kinga, what were you thinking? Su Kinga's eyes redden, but she still looks straight at me. Qinzhou, I wasn't trying to replace you. I just wanted to standardize the company's processes. We can't have all core permissions in the hands of one person. I nod. So, you chose to hand them to a secretary. She can't say a word. Zhou Jingxing jumps at the chance to shift all blame to her. Chairman, I admit I made mistakes, but Ms. Su is the decision-maker. I was just following orders. Qin Wan speaks up suddenly. Mr. Zhou, did Ms. Su also tell you to take the kickback from Hongrui Consulting? Zhou Jingxing's face drops. Qin Wan projected the bank statements onto the screen. Hongrui Consulting wired a total of 860,000 renminbi to Zhou Jingxing's personal account in 3 installments. Memo. Consulting service fee. Su Kinga whipped her head around to stare at him. You took kickbacks. Zhou Jingxing panicked. They gave it to me voluntarily. Qin Wan flipped to the next page. You used Han Rui's account to buy luxury watches, then filed the expenses as consulting fees under Su Cloud Tech CEO. Su does hold management responsibility. But you're the one who actually benefited. Zhou Jingxing fully lost it. He looked at Su Kinga like she was his only lifeline. CEO Su, say something for me. I did everything for you. Su Kinga stepped back. You broke the law. Zhou Jingxing's eyes went ice-cold instantly. Oh, now you remember I broke the law. Where was this when you let me take the shots for you? Run your errands. Schmooze your clients. Dead silence in the conference room. This dogfight was way uglier than any formal accusation. Su Mingyuan announced on the spot that Zhou Jingxing was suspended from all duties pending audit investigation. When the security guards dragged Zhou Jingxing out, he suddenly yelled at me through the screen. Don't get cocky. Gu Qinzhou. Su Kinga never saw you as her husband. You're just a free tool to her. I'm just better at sucking up to her than you are. Su Kinga went paper white. I turned off the video. No point watching more. That night, Su Kinga showed up at my hotel. She didn't come up this time. Just sent a text. I'm downstairs. Can we talk? I stood by the window staring at her car. She sat inside for ages, windshield wipers swiping back and forth. I didn't go down. Half an hour later, she sent another text. I admit it. I was scared you'd become too important to me, but I never wanted to lose you. I texted back. You just never thought a tool would walk away. After I sent that, her car headlights flickered on then off. A long while later, she replied, I deserve this. I didn't reply. Haichuang Group didn't terminate the partnership outright. Liang Jingting gave Su Cloud Tech a chance to make a public statement, to be held at Haichuang's headquarters main conference hall. Attendees weren't just the 2 teams. 3 potential partner companies were also present. Su Cloud Tech had to prove the dome system was still deliverable. Su Kinga took the stage herself. She'd lost a lot of weight, but her CEO aura was still there. First, she publicly admitted internal management failures. Then she emphasized her team would fix the mess. Finally, she looked right at me in the audience. Mr. Gu Qinzhou is the original architect of the dome system and a key former contributor to Su Cloud Tech. We are in active communication with him, hoping he will return to the project as a consultant. She phrased it perfectly. No mention of the year-end bonus. No mention of Zhou Jingxing. No mention of why I quit. Just active communication. Like I was just throwing a tantrum. People in the audience glanced my way. Liang Jingting was watching me, too. Su Qingge stepped off the stage, walked up to me, and lowered her voice. Qinzhou, do me one last favor. Go up and say a few words to steady the situation. I stared at her. Say what? Say the project is fine. Say you're willing to help with the transition. No. Panic flashed in her eyes. You're just going to let Su Cloud Tech collapse. I said, Su Cloud Tech won't collapse over one line from me. It'll collapse because of all the mess you've done. Her face drained of color. Right then, the big screen suddenly cut to a video of Zhao Jingsheng. I didn't play it. Haichuang's tech team was verifying submitted materials and accidentally played the project introduction video Su Cloud Tech had sent in. In the video, Zhao Jingsheng was sitting in an office, grinning as he spoke. I came up with the core concept of the dome system when I was on a business trip with CEO Su. Director Gu was only in charge of execution. The entire room erupted. Su Qingge's face changed instantly. Liang Jingting looked up. CEO Su, is this the official material you submitted to Haichuan? Her mouth opened and closed. No words came out. I stand up. Every eye in the room locks on me. I walk up to the stage. Plug the USB drive into the laptop. Since we're talking about the core framework, let's look at some original source materials. The first thing that pops up on the big screen is the 3-year-old system design draft. Creator, Gu Qinzhou. Timestamp is 1.5 years before Zhou Jingxing even joined the company. Second item, my early requirement communication emails with Haichuan Group. Third item, a voice-to-text transcript of the message Su Qingge sent me back then. Her voice is perfectly clear in the audio clip. Qinzhou, this scheduling model of yours is a game changer. Whether Su Corp can turn things around depends entirely on it. Fourth item, the sign-in sheet from Zhou Jingxing's first ever project meeting. His job title that day was Administrative Secretary in charge of meeting minutes and refreshments. The room goes dead silent. You can hear a pin drop. I look right at Su Qingge. Ms. Su, is this what you call proactive communication? Her eyes well up. I didn't know they included this clip in the submission materials. Ask, then how much do you know? She says nothing. Liang Jingting stands up, announces in a loud, clear voice, Haichuan Group officially suspends all cooperation with Su Cloud Tech on the firmament system and will initiate a breach of contract liability assessment immediately. The entire Su Corp team goes paper white. Su Qingge stumbles. No one moves to catch her. I would have caught her once. Not now. I'm on the stage, pulling up the final document. In the meantime, as the original creator of the firmament system, I hereby formally declare, until Su Cloud Tech completes internal rectification, publicly corrects the project authorship, and returns all embezzled bonuses and related proceeds, I will not provide any personal authorization or technical endorsement. Flashlights go off like crazy below the stage. Su Qingge stares at me, tears finally spilling down her face. I don't spare her a second glance. The press conference ends. Reporters swarm her immediately, firing questions one after another. Ms. Su, did you knowingly allow your male secretary to take credit for your husband's work? Did you know Zhao Jingxing embezzled the bonus? Has Mr. Gu Chengze filed for divorce yet? She stumbles back under the barrage of questions. I leave through the side door. Chen Feng runs after me, practically buzzing with excitement. Gu Jie, that was epic. I smirk. We're not done yet. He freezes. Add, Zhao Jingxing hasn't played his final card yet. Turns out I was right. That same night, a hidden camera video leaks online. In the clip, a drunk Su Qingge leans on Zhao Jingxing's shoulder. He tucks her hair behind her ear, leans down and whispers in her ear, Qingge, Gu Chengze doesn't get you. I do. The video cuts off there. The entire internet loses its mind. Su Qingge blows up my phone like crazy. I don't answer. She texts again. It's not what you think. I glance at the message, then turn off my phone. It doesn't matter anymore if it's true or not. Zhao Jingxing is MIA for 3 days. On the 4th day, he goes live. The background is a cheap rental. He's unshaven, eyes bloodshot. The first thing he says is, I'm not a thief. I'm just the guy who did Su Qingge's dirty work. His stream shoots straight to the top of the trending list. He frames himself as the poor guy who got used and dumped by the female CEO. He says Su Kinga was unhappy in her marriage ages ago, that she always complained I was clueless about social niceties and only knew how to hold the company hostage with my tech skills, that she needed a more presentable, socially adept man by her side. He also pulls up several chat screenshots. One of them is from Su Kinga. At the annual gala tonight, give the contribution award to you. I'll handle Qin Zhao. Another one. Run the bonus through your incentive pay first. Don't let the board think the core project is completely reliant on him. The third one is even harder to look at. He's my husband. He won't actually make a scene. I stare at that line, my fingers frozen for a long time. Turns out her biggest confidence was that I loved her. She knew I'd get hurt. She just thought I'd never have the heart to leave. Comments in the live stream fly by at breakneck speed. This chick is straight up ruthless. Her husband is literally just a tool. That male secretary isn't any better. Either. It's a dog-eat-dog mess. Su Kinga called again. This time, I picked up. Her voice was already cracking. Gu Qin Zhao, those chat logs are real, but it's not what you think. I said, which part isn't? She sobbed. I was just trying to keep the board under control back then. I never meant Clear's throat to hurt you. I asked. Giving my award to him wasn't meant to hurt me. Silence from her end. Putting him in the spotlight wasn't meant to hurt me. Her breath shook. Saying I wouldn't actually make a fuss wasn't meant to hurt me. She finally broke down crying. I'm sorry, I said calmly. Apology received. She clutched at a sliver of hope. Can you help me clear my name? Then, just say we're a couple having a private fight, and all the public noise will die down. I laughed. Su Kinga, you're still using our marriage to save your company. She denied in a panic. No, I just thought I'd still bail you out. Dead silence on the other end of the line. I said, not anymore. I hung up. That same night, I held my final press briefing. It wasn't at the office, just a regular conference center. I didn't play the victim. I didn't hurl insults. I only laid out evidence. First, the original approval form for the bonus. Second, the amendment records. Third, the financial payment trail. Fourth, correspondences between Zhao Jingsheng and Hongrui Consulting. Fifth, chat logs proving Su Qinghua was fully aware of the scheme. Sixth, documentation proving original ownership of the Tianqing system. Last, my resignation letter. I looked into the camera and said, I used to think couples didn't need to keep score, but not keeping score doesn't mean you can steal from me. Holding back doesn't mean I consent to being humiliated. Marriage isn't a get-out-of-jail-free card for anyone breaking the law. A reporter asked, Mr. Gu, are you still willing to reconcile with Ms. Su? I replied, legally. We'll follow due process. The reporter pressed, what about romantically? I stared at the camera. I'm out. Those two words went viral across the internet later. Some called me cold. Others said it was the most level-headed move possible. After the briefing, Qin Wan handed me a file. Zhao Jingsheng reached out to the audit team on his own. He's willing to hand over more evidence in exchange for leniency. I took it. Inside was a critical recording of a conversation between Su Qinghua and Zhao Jingsheng. Zhao Jingsheng said, will Mr. Gu be upset? Su Qinghua said, he'll give me the cold shoulder for a few days. That's all. He'll come around eventually. The Tianqing project is his life's work. He won't let it go. The recording cut off. I closed my eyes for a second. It wasn't pain I felt. It was closure. She wasn't acting on a moment of folly. She'd gambled that I wouldn't walk away, and she was sure she'd win. Qin Wan asked, should we release this to the public? I said, send it to the court. She nodded. The divorce case will be a slam dunk. I looked out the window. The city lights were blazing. I suddenly thought back to the year Su Kinga first started her business. She said, Qinzhou, I'm not scared of losing. I'm only scared you won't stand by me. I held her hand back then. I'll always be here. I get it now. The person who's always standing by your side is the easiest to take for granted, to treat like a permanent backdrop. But even backdrops can fall. On the day of the divorce hearing, Su Kinga arrived early. She sat on a bench in the hallway, clutching our wedding rings in her hand. She looked up at me when I walked past. Chinjo. I gave a small nod. Didn't slow down. She followed after me. I'm not fighting for anything today, I said. Okay. Her eyes reddened. Don't you have anything to ask me? I looked at her. No. That one word felt like a stab to her. Once, I'd had endless questions for her. Why are you home late? Why didn't you pick up my call? Why did you let Zhou Jingsheng go on business trips with you? Why wouldn't you make our relationship public? I stopped asking later, not because the answer didn't matter. It was already written into every single choice she ever made. The trial began. My lawyer submitted evidence of assets, and Su Kinga's side barely put up a fight. Property was split according to capital contribution ratio. Funds embezzled during the marriage must be returned. The 2 million renminbi unpaid year-end bonus and compensation owed by Su's Cloud Tech will be handled separately via labor arbitration and civil recovery proceedings. Clues regarding Zhou Jingsheng's illegal activities have been handed over to judicial authorities. The judge asked if both parties were open to mediation. I said, no. Su Kinga kept her head down, voice soft. I agree to the divorce. When those words landed, I thought I'd feel something. I didn't. It just felt like a door had finally clicked shut after the trial. She stopped me at the courthouse entrance. The sky was overcast, wind howling. She held out the wedding ring to me. Give this back to you. I didn't take it. Keep it. A faint glimmer sparked in her eyes. I added, I don't need it anymore. Her hand froze midair. After a few seconds, she slowly pulled it back. I know you'll never forgive me. I said nothing. She went on. But I still want you to know that day with the 3 million. I really did want you to come home. I looked at her. Who did you want to come back? Your husband or the person who signs off on the acceptance inspection? Her face went white. She couldn't answer that. The truth was too ugly. She choked up. At first it was the sign-off guy. Then it was my husband. I nodded. You got the order wrong. Tears burst from her eyes instantly. I turned to leave when she suddenly yelled, Gu Chenjiao. If I'd admitted on the spot at the annual gala that the bonus was yours, would we have never ended up like this? I stopped. No. She froze. I looked back at her. Because the problem wasn't that one night. It was that you thought, again and again, that I could be the one who takes the fall. Her face went deathly pale. I kept going. First time, you sent Zhou Jingsheng on the business trip instead of you. Didn't even tell me. Second time, you gave my proposal to him to present. Said he needed to grow. Third time, your mom said I lived off you. You didn't say a word. Fourth time, he took my seat at the project meeting. You said it was just procedure. She took a step back with every word I said. The gala was just the last straw. She clapped a hand over her mouth, doubled over sobbing. I didn't reach for her. Han Shirlan and Shen Yaoqing stood at the bottom of the courthouse steps. When Han Shirlan saw me, all her old arrogance was gone. She wanted to step forward, but didn't dare. Shen Yaoqing wouldn't even meet my eyes. The seized assets under their names have already entered the return process. Once people have no more benefits to leech off, they don't even have the guts to run their mouths. I walked down the steps. Han Shulan said quietly, Chinjiao, I was wrong before. Mom shouldn't have done that. I stopped. Don't call me that. Her face flushed with embarrassment. Mr. Gu, I said, we don't need to see each other ever again. I got in the car and drove off. In the rearview mirror, Su Kinga was still standing at the courthouse entrance, clutching that ring. Wind whipped her hair around. She looked so alone. But that wasn't my problem anymore. The day Zhou Jingsheng was taken away, Su's Cloud Tech internal group chat went dead silent. He's suspected of embezzlement, accepting bribes as a non-state functionary, and forging corporate approval documents. The boss of Hongrui Consulting is also under investigation. That watch was recovered. Now it's evidence. The arbitration result for the 2 million year-end bonus is out. 2. Su's Cloud Tech must pay me the unpaid bonus, compensation, and relevant interest. The board of directors publicly released a rectification announcement, and for the first time, clearly stated, lead developer of the Qingxiong system's original architecture, Gu Changzhao, core project contributor, Gu Changzhao. The bonus embezzlement incident is classified as a major internal management error. I stared at the announcement, didn't feel much. This overdue recognition can't bring back all those nights I lost. But it tells everyone one thing. I'm not some trophy husband who climbed the ranks on my wife's coattails. I'm just me. The day the official announcement dropped, Liang Jingting took me out to dinner. He got straight to the point. Mr. Gu, Haichuan still wants to work with you. I said, I'm no longer with Su Group. He said, that's why I'm not here for Su Group. I'm here for you. He slid a new contract across the table. Haichuan Group was willing to set up a joint lab with me as chief technical advisor, fully independent of Su Cloud Tech. The terms were great, but I didn't sign right away. Liang Jingting smiled. Cautiousness is never a bad thing. I said, I don't want to tie all my hard work to someone else's company ever again. He nodded. Then start your own company. Haichuan will be your first client. I looked at him. This time I didn't say no. A month later, Jinzhou Digital Tech was founded. The office wasn't big. The first batch of hires was only a dozen people. Qin Feng quit Su Group, bringing 2 core engineers with him. The day those old colleagues showed up, laptops in hand, they stood by the door grinning. Hey Gu, no one's going to steal our credits this time, right? I said, whoever does the work gets their name on it. Everyone applauded. That moment felt way better than getting that 2 million back on opening day. Su Qing sent a bouquet of flowers. No signature. The card only had one line. Wish you never have to compromise yourself ever again. After reading it, I told the front desk to put the flowers in the common area. Not throwing it away. Not bringing it into my office. Either. Some well wishes are worth keeping. The person who sent them doesn't need to come back. That night, I got Su Qing's last long text. She said Zhao Jinxing's case was almost going to trial. She said Han Sherlan had been sick and didn't dare mention my name now. She said Xin Yaoqing got a regular job and finally realized how hard it is to make money. She said Su Cloud Tech took a huge hit after losing Haichuan, so she stepped down as CEO, only keeping her status as a regular shareholder. At the end, she wrote, Gu Jinzhou, I finally get it now. You didn't care that much about the 2 million. You just wanted me to stand by you for once. But I never did. Not once. I stared at the text for a long time, then replied, good that you get it now. She sent another text. Is there any chance we can start over? I didn't reply. Some people miss them once and it's forever. Next day was Zhou Jingxing's court hearing. I didn't go. Chen Wan did. When she came back, she told me Zhou Jingxing pleaded guilty in court, but still claimed he got carried away by Su Qing his trust. I heard her out and only found it funny. Greedy people always reach out their hands first, then blame others for offering them the chance. Chen Wan asked me, did you win completely now? I thought for a second. Not yet. She looked confused. I glanced at the busy team in the office. When the new system launches and everyone gets bonuses for their own work under their own names, that's when I win. She smiled. Then you're going to be swamped. I said, busy is good. Busy means I'm still moving forward. Half a year later, Chenzhou Digital Tech launched its first version of the system. At the launch event, I didn't invite too many media. Most attendees were clients and industry peers. Liang Jingting sat in the front row and Qin Feng was in charge of the tech demo on the big screen. Every module had the name of the person in charge next to it. Not empty titles. These were the people who actually wrote the code, ran the tests, pulled all-nighters fixing bugs. When the demo ended, the whole room applauded for a long time. When Qin Feng stepped off the stage, his eyes were a little red. Gu, I worked at Su Group for 5 years. This is the first time I feel like my name actually gets seen. I patted his shoulder. They'll all be seen from now on. After the event ended, I got an unknown call backstage. When I picked up, it was Su Kinga. Her voice was a lot calmer. Chinzhou, congratulations. I said, thanks. She was silent for 2 seconds. I'm outside the venue. I didn't go in. I looked out the glass door. In the distance, a woman was indeed standing there. Beige coat. Long hair tangled by the wind. She was way thinner than before and way quieter. Something up? I asked. Nothing, she said softly. Just wanted to check if you're doing okay these days. I'm fine, I said. She gave a faint smile. Good. The line went quiet. I thought she was going to hang up, but she spoke again. Remember that day I offered you 3 million to come back? I've thought about it for so long. Why your line broke me so bad. I didn't respond. She just kept going. Because you said 3 million couldn't buy you back. Couldn't buy the final approval signing authority. Either. That's when it hit me. I didn't just lose the guy who could save my project. Her voice cracked a little. I lost the guy who used to stand behind me. No questions asked. I stared out the window. She was standing way off this time. She didn't step closer. Gu Qingzi, she said. I'm sorry. I said. Do you still hate me? She asked quietly. No, I said. She sounded like she let out a breath she'd been holding. Then I added, don't love you. Either. Dead silence on the other end of the line. After a long beat, she said, I know. She hung up. I stared out the window again. She stood there for a minute, then turned and walked away. No tears, no begging on her knees, no more pleading. That was probably the last bit of dignity she allowed herself. I put my phone away and walked back into the press hall. Liang Qingting walked over, handed me a letter of intent. Mr. Gu, we're good to move to the next phase. I took the pen and signed. My name, Gu Qingzi. Those 3 characters, for the first time, only belonged to me, not Su Qing's husband. Not a disposable pawn for Su's cloud tech, not the technical director who had to swallow his pride when the male secretary stole his credit. Just me. At the after-party, Qin Fang got drunk, raised his glass and yelled, Toast to Mr. Gu. Toast to everyone who ever had their credit stolen. Their name erased. Everyone raised their glasses. I lifted mine, too. Glasses clinked, light and sharp. I suddenly thought of that company annual gala. The lights were blinding. Zhao Jingxing was on stage wearing the watch bought with my bonus, thanking Miss Su for her trust. Su Qinghua stood next to him, smiling that perfect polished smile. Everyone back then thought I'd take it lying down. I almost thought I would, too. But some doors in life, once you push them open, you never want to go back to the old room after the party ended. I walked out of the hotel alone. The night wind was soft. No rain. My driver asked, Mr. Gu, back to the office or home? I thought for a second. Office. He laughed. Working this late. I looked at the city lights outside the window. Got a few authorship lists to verify. The driver didn't get it, but nodded anyway. The car drove down the long street. My phone buzzed once. Bank deposit alert. 2 million in bonus and compensation from Su's cloud tech fully deposited. I glanced at it, turned the screen off. The money was finally back. But it wasn't the point anymore. It was just a period at the end of a sentence. What mattered was, from now on, no one could use my silence to polish their own perfect image. I leaned back against the back seat, closed my eyes. The road ahead was long, and for the first time, I didn't have to look back for anyone.